What is my vision of an eco-city? Well, the experience of it would be a place where a person could awaken to the sun, to the sounds of other creatures, to the sounds of, well, other creatures including, let's say, human children, but also birds, other wild animal calls, the wind. So living in a world that's more than human. In a sense world that's more than human. But at the same time it will be intensely human because there will be people all over the place. So the vision that we have talked about in class has been one which is hyper-dense. People are living very close to each other, but of course if you do that you can't be playing the stereo all the time or having 5 cars in the driveway, so it's going to be an entirely different physical structure, interweaving the other creatures with a much more focused human presence, and then beyond that the open space of the wild. So a really different texture all the way around. As a teacher, I don't always see the seeds flowering, but part of the teaching is an act of faith that they will flower, and so that's that partly. Partly it's writing, so I also do a fair amount of writing and talking outside of the teaching context about these things. So, and I hear from people, you know, people who write and say, you know, this book was really useful, or it was terrible, but they at least engaged the idea. So it's the intellectual life is a larger thing that includes the actual classroom practice, but includes a lot of other things as well. So all of that, yeah. And then the actual project of trying to create an eco-village, which I'm also involved with. So that's informed by my thinking, but it also informs my thinking. So it's all those actions at once are, I'm hoping, making some difference. The simplest way to live sustainably, oh my. I don't know if there's any single path, I guess I would say. I'd say there are a lot of paths. And sustainability is such a diffuse idea anyway. I'm not sure I trust it entirely. But in terms of paying attention to ourselves as human in a larger world, that's opening the senses partly. Paying attention to long-term impacts of what we do is at least paying attention to materials to the extent that we can, more biodegradables. Paying attention to the flow of life through our own bodies, that's to pay attention to what we eat, growing our own food, eating organically, not slaughtering animals right and left to support this. So there are many ways to start. A lot of environmentalism is focused on a very negative view of things, and a very reactive and very unappealing, to say the least. And I have said to you guys, to the class, I'm surprised anybody's an environmental studies major, actually. Even though it's terrifically important stuff, but God, would you want to just, you know, spend all your life and all your time working? But absolutely, there's so many wonderful possibilities in the same key, in an environmental and green key of really remaking the world. So that was the sense that these ideas weren't represented out there. And I found over the years, talking about them in different settings, people would say, boy, I've never heard that before. And you know, and appreciating the optimism or the possibilism of it, and going, well, you know, there's a space for this. And so it was natural to, you know, materials I put together, talks I'd done, eventually grew into the book. So I said, okay, I'm doing this. Evidently I have to do it. So I'm doing it.